Craziness can be seen in many ways. Sometimes in owners who tend to act rashly and illogical whenever they come in to sell their stuff. And sometimes, even in the items they bring into the pawn shop, they desire to sell. The gold and silver pawn shop happens to have both of them with it, witnessing many people who bring in materials which are completely crazy. Many a times, the reaction those owners show are also worth watching. At the end, it is probably the combination of these factors and actually makes this show so good to watch. Here's a list of 4 crazy customers that came into the pawn shop. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any Pez Collectibles. People have different interests and hobbies when it comes to collecting items, and at times, many people do not value what others find important. An owner that came into the gold and silver pawn shop found himself in a similar situation, where he had been collecting Pez products for over many years. And the most presumptuous of the collections were back from the 1960s. He had expected a return of $2,500 for the entire Pez collection he had brought in, but the pawn shop owners weren't too excited about it, therefore valuing them only for a mere $1,000. The Pez Collectibles owner got intrigued by the offer they were making, which made him walk out angrily, calling it an insult to the Pez community. It could only be hoped that the Pez Collectibles owner found a customer worth his interest at the end. Potato thrown at Martin Luther King Jr. It is definitely quite difficult to tell if the historic item someone claims to bring in is actually real, considering they've got no proof whatsoever for their item. Similarly, a man was aired on the show where he had brought in a potato he claims to have been thrown at Martin Luther King Jr. Though, when Chum-Li asked for proof of any sort, the man failed to bring any. It was only his claim that his uncle passed it down to him that he presented by the owner at the pawn shop host. The owner obviously had expected a deal of more than $2,000, but wasn't very successful in making one. He ended up selling the potato to Chum-Li for just $2. Flintlock Pistol. Following our statement about people having weird interests and hobbies in terms of collecting stuff, there happens to be a walk-in customer in the gold and silver pawn shop who offered to sell a vintage flintlock pistol. The owner of the pistol had a very saddening story about his selling of the pistol, which happens to be that his wife had forced him into selling the flintlock pistol he had purchased at a gun fair many years ago. Though the owner was selling the pistol against his wishes, he did seem enthusiastic about having his pistol valued at a decently high price. But when Corey felt that something did not feel right, he had his gun and arms expert come in, who revealed that the gun was actually a fake. Having to listen to the fact that his gun was a fake, the owner got extremely angry and left the shop cursing. When an artifact happens to have only 800 copies made of itself, it is surely intended to be kept as a collectible. And when years pass on and no further copies are allowed of it, it increases its value tenfold. When an owner walked into the gold and silver pawn shop with a Perseus and Pegasus statue, which had only 800 copies made of itself, it caught the eye of the pawn shop owners for real. Perseus wore a helmet which made him invisible, and with that, the black color of the statue made it look very classy. So when Rick started to take a closer look at the statue, he found some major hints showing that the statue was not original. He showed some marks to the owner which Rick said would not have been there if this was the real one. And the statue was even coined which said "Made in the USA" sign. The owner obviously wasn't thrilled by what Rick had been saying, and thus replied by saying that what you see and what you can prove are two different things. With many more stories similar to these ones mentioned above that took place in the gold and silver pawn shop, it makes it very interesting to look out for different types of events going on in the show. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. We will see you in another video, and until then, take care. Goodbye!